I'm not quite sure why, but bad coaching seems to be the theme of the CFL right now. The other day, you had a head coach giving up on a game. Now, in this contest, you have a head coach making a decision that will end up costing his team the game, and the other head coach most likely costing himself a chunk of his paycheck. We'll start with Edmonton's coach. After Cody Fajardo took a sack, putting the Elks in a 3rd and long situation, they needed to try to minimize the damage, with the Argonauts in prime position to score a field goal before halftime, but the Elks just completely fall apart. They took a time count violation, backing them up inside their end zone, but instead of giving up a safety, they decided to punt it out of their end zone, and gave up a 53-yard field goal. Mark Killam, Edmonton's head coach, was visibly frustrated when going to the locker room after this happened, but Killam is just as much at fault here. That is, if he was getting mad at his punting unit for taking that penalty. He could have easily changed course after that happened and give up the safety, awarding the Argonauts 2 points instead of 3. And yeah, you need to trust your special teams to cover the kickoff, but you're trusting them anyway when you punt it. And 1 point might not seem like a big deal, but as luck would have it, that would be the difference in the game, with the Argonauts winning on a walk-off field goal. Oh, and remember how they didn't take a timeout to prevent the time count penalty? They actually finished the game with a timeout, which is just hilarious. They didn't use it to ice the kicker or stop the clock. Nope, they just ended the game with it. But it doesn't stop there. After the game-winning kick, the Argos head coach Ryan Dinwiddie decided to head over to the Elks sideline and start swinging his leg in the air while his players followed him to taunt the Elks. Then, after the game, in his press conference, he said those guys can enjoy the offseason, which is kind of a crazy statement considering they have the same record. But we'll move on. Dinwiddie was apparently getting chirped the entire game by Demetrius Maxey, the Elks special teams coordinator and defensive assistant, and by, as he said, a pretender who's no longer in our building, which we can safely assume is Jordan Williams, a defensive lineman who was released by the Argos earlier in the year and recently signed with the Elks. Now, I'm all for the trash talk and chirping in game, but this just seems a bit over the top. Dinwiddie could have simply called out both guys in his post-game press conference, instead of bringing his entire team over to start a bench brawl after they already won the game. As per CFL policy, the league does not announce discipline involving teams or staff, but I'm pretty confident in saying that after this week, Ryan Dinwiddie's wallet is going to be a little lighter than it was to start the week. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.